opinions, and I was going to do two separate videos for this, but I figured, you know what, these two phones are highly compared to one another, and so I'll just do one video about both phones. And so the phones I'm going to be talking about today, you guys probably already guessed it by now, is the LG Tribute 5 and the Samsung Galaxy J3. So, having both these phones for well over a month, it's actually been it's been nice. It's really hard to choose one over the other. Honestly, when people ask me my opinions, they're like, "What do you think about the Tribute 5? What do I think about the J3?" Both phones perform tremendously well, and I've been able to use both phones side by side thanks to the fact that I run one as my Google Voice phone, or what I'm going to call from today on as my ghetto Project Fi, because basically Project Fi, you could use your Google Voice, but it's not connected to Sprint or T-Mobile's network. It's connected to my little MiFi box, and I run it wherever I go. I make phone calls from VoIP. So yeah, I use it. I can use this phone and this phone side by side out there, using the same network because it's Boost Mobile. I'm able to actually just do some comparisons between both these phones, and they run very, very well. J3 has more storage, obviously, 16 gigs of onboard storage, and it has 1.5 gigabytes of RAM. So it really does help to have more applications installed and be able to run them and process them a lot better. But the Tribute 5 is no slouch, even though it has the standard from back in the day, 8 gigabytes of internal storage, 1 gig of RAM. This phone is actually sweet. And it may not have the 1.5 gigabytes of RAM like its twin on Metro PCS, but you know what? It handles very well. And that's really what you want out of a smartphone, is that it's going to handle the way that you want it to. Running applications, just fine. Of course, I use Facebook Lite. I don't use Facebook. Even though Facebook has a lot of features packed into it and everything like that, it does tend to make your phone run like crap. So, both phones have Facebook Lite installed, which, if you guys want to grab that, you guys can get that from apkmirror.com, and you guys can use it. And basically what Facebook Lite is, it's the international version of Facebook. It was originally meant for China, where, they're only allowed to have so many things there based on the Chinese government. And so Facebook made a completely really light application just to use Facebook, so they were able to use it. And you know what? It tremendously works well. I don't even know why they haven't opened up Facebook Lite here. On a different note, here in the US for people to download. They should. But anyways, we got access to it on APK Mirror, so can't complain. But yeah, so no Facebook installed on here, so none of that Facebook Messenger, Page Manager, none of that stuff. I can use Facebook Lite to do all that stuff. It has built-in messaging, so it works out great, and it doesn't eat up the RAM on both of these phones. It doesn't really hog up or kill the battery. The screen sizes, obviously both are 5-inch displays. However, the J3 has a 720p HD display, and the Tribute 5 does not. But when you look at the Tribute 5 screen, okay, this is what's tripping me. Okay, it's not a 720p HD display, but I mean, come on now, that display is freaking beautiful. Okay, for it not being HD, you gotta really be like, wow. Okay, not even my camera is doing this screen justice. This screen is just amazing, and it's not 720p. Okay, like I'll put it up side by side with the J3, and let me put the brightness up on the J3 so you guys can see it in a fair judgment here. Let's put them at half brightness. Okay, so they're both at half brightness. Okay, so let's just swipe up real quick. You guys saw some of my notifications, but all right, bam. Okay. Like side by side, okay? It's not 720p HD, but it looks good, and that's what you really want out of a screen. You don't want an eyesore, you want an eye candy. So you look at the screen, you're not really gonna think that it's not HD. You're gonna look at it and be like, wow, that's a pretty good screen. I mean, okay, for me, I can kind of see some of the dots like in the Facebook Lite icon and all kinds of other stuff. You can kind of see a little bit of dots there when you really gotta stare to see that, okay? Like you're not just gonna see that like pulling out of your pocket and be like, oh look, there's dots all over my icon. Like, no, you won't see the pixels unless you really, really stare. Okay, so it does have a low resolution screen, but the screen looks amazing. Okay, now both these devices, they both have 5-megapixel rear-facing cameras. Okay, and they both take good pictures. All right, they're not gonna take the 4K photos if you're into that type of stuff. Don't count on it. But if you're looking to just, be able to snap a photo and visibly see what it is and have it clear, then yeah, you're gonna be fine, okay? With the J3, when there is movement, you will catch some blurriness. That's something that has to do with the camera, something that's inevitable. All right, so basically action movements is not gonna be something that you wanna take photos with the J3. And the same problem happens with the Tribute 5, but it seems like the Tribute 5's 5-megapixel camera handles movement a lot better than Samsung's J3's camera does. So, I mean, both of them being 5-megapixel cameras, I mean, the quality is good. Movement, of course, is not going to be so great to capture. But then again, these are budget devices. They're not flagships. Now, here's where it gets tricky. The front-facing camera, 2-megapixel, 5-megapixel, okay? Then 5-megapixel front-facing camera, okay, that's becoming normals for budget devices. And you know what? It takes really good pictures. The Tribute 5 takes some dang good pictures. Selfies, you're going to be happy with that. But here's the thing now. The J3 has a 2-megapixel front-facing camera or selfie cam. And it takes really good pictures for a 2-megapixel camera. And I've compared this up with the Epic 4G Touch that has a 2-megapixel camera. And I've compared it against the Galaxy Prevail LTE that also has a 2-megapixel front-facing camera. And this camera blows us out the water. Like I've always said, it's not always about megapixels, but it's about how it processes the image. And the image processing on the J3 is actually stellar for it, having 2-megapixel on the front, 5-megapixel on the back. Camera is you're gonna love it. Battery life on both these devices is extremely well. Now, I really can't judge so much for the Tribute 5 because it's not connected to the cellular network. It's connected to a Wi-Fi source. The battery, of course, is going to be extremely stellar with the Tribute 5 as it's not, needing energy to stay connected to the cell towers. Whereas my J3 is my daily driver. It's always constantly looking for LTE signal and connecting, and therefore it will kind of consume some battery. I mean, if you're in a good LTE area, if your LTE signal is very strong, then yeah, the battery is going to, last you at least a good 12, maybe 13 hours on heavy use. But if you're in a bad area with weak LTE signal, then it's definitely going to eat the battery. You'll probably get about 8 to 9 hours. But when you think about it, 8 to 9 hours or even 13 hours, that's pretty much like your day at work. So if you were to unplug your phone off the charger and head off to work, you would at least get 10% battery by the time you got back home. Unless that's if you're using your phone a lot at work. But if you're not using your phone a lot at work, then you're gonna get better life. So keep that in mind. All in all, really, I gotta say that the Tribute 5 and the J3 is 2016's budget device pickups, like stellar. I'm not going to say they're the best because we have the rest of 2016 to see what else comes out. But for right now, even one of these two devices you're really going to be happy with. My thing is, if you're looking for a nice, good, premium feeling looking smartphone, the Tribute 5 is where it's at. Okay, it feels really nice. It feels durable. The quality is just nice itself. But if you're looking for a phone that has more storage, then the J3 is where it's going to be at. Yes, it has its little light gold looking body. It does not feel cheap. Okay, both of them feel plastic. The screens feel a little bit different because the Tribute screen feels like it's butter, and the J3 doesn't. But they're both good screens, and yeah, definitely. If you're wondering about the screen's vulnerability, they both are vulnerable. So I wouldn't trust dropping it. So if you want to, wrap it up with the case. If you want, if you love the way the phone looks, get a clear case. They sell a bunch of clear TPU gel cases that you can just wrap around the phone. It'll look just like this with a little clear case over them, but it will protect your phone, protect your screen from drops. You'll have a better chance of screen survival. So anyways, guys, that's just my thoughts and opinions about the Tribute 5 and the J3. Both offered on Boost Mobile. You guys can find it on boostmobile.com. I'm not sure about the pricing, but I believe $149.99 for the J3, and I think it's like $84.99 or $89.99 for the Tribute 5. I don't know if there's still those prices. You guys definitely check it out at boostmobile.com. And thanks for checking out my video. If you guys enjoyed it, leave me a thumbs up. If you have not subscribed, do so. Click that subscribe button that way, I believe. Or no, it's that way, actually. My name is Tio with Aloha Android, and I'll I'll see you next time.